How was this year, the conference?
That's a question? Okay.
If you accept.
Well, the conference is different. It's interesting because it's also in a different place from the past few years. So there's a different feeling, different mood to it. I think it's more mature. It should, the conference shows the evolution of over time. And I think more people, sorry, I have something in my voice here, but more people know what they want and are present to what's going on. So I think it's a nice evolution. The word nice is, it's not an extraordinary evolution, it's a gradual development process. And
sustainable.
Sustainable. And it's good to be part of this. I appreciate being invited and coming to participate and looking at it. Now, if there's room for development, I talked to a few people about it. I think there's a lot of old guys. It's very much validating the schools. It could validate some other things. It could validate some newer experiments done by people that are on the field. The schools can be a little more in the background. Who wants to validate the schools? Now, in a way, to put us in front, people come to see us, so it's filling the room. But at the same time, it'd be good to have more of the younger generation doing some interesting stuff. Like have one coach talk about how she coaches all over Europe by the phone, how she developed it, etc. You know who I'm talking about. Have another one talking about, in the larger group. In other words, to make it a sort of sharing process between people of the same generation, rather than have everybody listen to the old guys all the time. And guys, it'd be good to have more women up there, So I appreciate the honor that is given, but after a while, it's good to also, put the honor on the side and have more excitement and things like this. So I think there's an evolution going in that direction, but there's room for improvement gradually over the years.
How do you see the opportunities for 2013?
Well, that's part of the opportunities, is maybe having more of a room that allows for a real circle rather than a classroom, where everybody looks at what's on the stage, have more interaction in the room. And there
coaching style.
Yeah, much more, participation, room for participation and the energy that the people can come and bring and interaction. And it takes a different kind of conception. It's easy to set the stage, to have somebody speak and everybody take notes, but that's kind of archaic. And coaching is of a different nature. So how to show this more in the conferences, because or else it's too top down. It's like in any company, you take the older guys, well, they're the CEO and they're on the executive team, and you take the younger women and then they're in the room and they're taking notes. So we're talking about change, but we're reproducing, a sort of Romanian culture. Now this, I don't want to be negative about this, because it's normal. But for ARC to continue accompanying change in Romania, how does ARC need to change inside? Okay, and model the change. And I think ARC has come a long way. There's a few periods that were, I would say, darker periods in the history of the association, and now you're moving forward. There's positive energy. There's more people really involved. So, you can feel there's a team behind this.
I have another 2 or 3 issues. How you see the challenge of being mature enough about the standard, the occupational standard. It's very, very risky that we we are in this process.
What do you call the occupational standards?
This is the fact that the profession of coaching is officially accepted as an official profession in Romania, which makes the difference between, let's say, day-by-day coaching.
Well, if Romania is part of Europe, and in Europe you have a coaching profession, you have a coaching profession in Romania.
All right.
You cannot have laws in Romania that don't go with laws in Europe. So I would say that the problem is much more European, and de facto in Europe you have a coaching profession because it is insured by insurances as a profession.
Yeah.
So de facto you have a coaching profession. De facto you have coaches that pay taxes because they earn money for their profession. So if you earn money and pay taxes, you can't say this is a non-profession. It's not like prostitutes, or whatever. So there is a lot of talk about this kind of thing. I don't think it will go anywhere. It's just talk. It's my impression. Okay? I heard the same thing in Spain. I heard the same thing.
Do you see an advantage that EMCC already have a Romanian chapter?
I think the more associations there are, the question is not having a monopoly. The question for ARC is how do we become better? Okay, if you become the most the organization that provides the most, that accompanies the best, and so on, and has a good way of being, you will attract good coaches.
Right.
Okay, and it's a question of time. It's not going to happen over 1 year or 2 years. So every association in the world is going to want to show they're in different countries. In Romania, it's like the ICF. You have an association here. Now, so long as any association doesn't do a good job, it's going to stay to be around 10 or 15 people playing politics. If it becomes a good association, then you'll grow. So if you're growing and attracting people, you're good. If you stay. So that's your clientele. Your clientele are coaches or a professional association for coaches. So the question is really, what do you do?
Right.
Now I see that you have a sort of supervision program, intravision program,
which is also ICF accredited.
And that kind of thing, the more you do this, okay, I think you could do, for instance, some programs to help coaches develop their clientele. Sales, how do you sell as coaches, and have sales training as coaches? Because a lot of coaches don't know how to become entrepreneurs of their job. So entrepreneur training for coaches. Okay. How do you set up a business? It's not coaching. It's if you become a shoemaker, you need to set up your business. But a lot of coaches don't know how to do this. So how do you accompany them to do this well? Same thing with accounting processes or whatever. If you support, bring more support to the coaches who are your real clientele, you'll attract more coaches. So I think that's what the association has to do most. But you're on the way. I mean, there's a big change in the last 2 years, with good programs. So, anything else? No. And I think it would be good, like I said before, to see about associating yourself, maybe with the EMCC, maybe with the ICF. In other words, you are a Romanian coaching association that's affiliated to different other associations. And that way, do they really need to have their own? Well, they probably will want to have their own to make money. Most associations want to be in every country to have people who pay dues that they take, But it will end in England or it will end in the United States, all the dues. If you have a Romanian association, at least the money stays here and is useful for Romanians. So I think you need to continue this. Now, don't say this to the ICF. I'm part of the ICF.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.